Hi there! Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Julie DiMatteo, the Paper Pixie. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US, and in this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this quick and easy Daffodil Daydream Easter treat holder. Inside of this super quick and easy treat holder, I've got one of the Russell Stover marshmallow eggs. I know you can find so many other things to fit in here, like a Reese's peanut butter egg and other things. Now the measurements of this treat holder are 2 inches wide by 1 inch deep, and this goes up to about 4.5 inches tall, but you'll see that it tapers as we tie this off with the ribbon. But it's a really great size, and you can actually get 2 of these out of a sheet of 8.5 by 11. I absolutely love the Daffodil Daydream bundle and these incredibly intricate daffodil dies that you can have so much fun layering different colors of cardstock to make some really unique daffodils. So let me go ahead and show you how easy it is to make this. The bundle we're using today is the Daffodil Daydream bundle, perfect for Mother's Day and Easter. I love those daffodil stamped images and great mixture of fonts here. It comes bundled with the daffodil dies. You actually get 24 dies in the bundle, and I'm going to show you using these dies how to create a beautiful daffodil for this treat holder. We're going to start with a piece of pale papaya cardstock that measures 5.5 inches by 6.5 inches. If you take a sheet of 8.5 by 11 and you cut 2 inches off the 8.5 inch side, you'll be left with a 6.5 by 11 inch piece of cardstock that you can then cut in half on the long side, and you'll end up with 2 pieces of cardstock to make 2 of these treat holders. So along the 6.5 inch side, we're going to score this at 2 inches, 3 inches, 5 inches, and 6 inches. I'm going to rotate it clockwise, and we're going to score this at 1 inch. Then I want to bring in the template here. We're actually going to make some short score lines. We don't want to go all the way across the cardstock here because I want to leave these 2-inch panels score line free. So the easiest way to do that is I'm actually going to flip the cardstock like this, and we're going to score at the 3-inch mark, but only down to that second score line. Let me show you that up close to the camera. So we've done that score line and stopped before this 2-inch section. I'm going to keep my stylus here, but I'm not pressing down, and I'm just wanting to get to that next section, that little 1-inch section, and then pick up that 3-inch score line mark there. So let me just show you what that looks like. So we skipped these 2-inch sections. And that's just going to help us where we're going to cut so that we can have the sides of our treat box look like this. Next, I'm going to fold and burnish on the score lines that go all the way across the cardstock. And then bringing in that template, we're going to start working along the bottom here. This is in landscape. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to miter cut here just above this lower rectangle section here. And then I'm going to cut up each of the score lines, stopping at that first horizontal score line. Next, I'm going to fold those larger sections out of the way to isolate those 2 1-inch squares. Then I'm going to come in and miter cut. All right, so the bottom is done there. Then I'm going to turn it 1/4 of a turn, and I'm going to cut right up that score line and stop where the score line stops. I'm going to come in and do a little miter cut here on that side tab. This is going to be the section that allows us to put our treat holder together. I'm going to turn it 1/4 of a turn again, and actually for some reason it's easier for me to see the score lines on the back side. But we're going to now cut up. I'm first going to remove these 2 sections here. While I'm doing this, I'm also going to cut just to the left of the score line, and I'm going to stop where that short cut is. And we're just going to remove that piece on the corner. If you need to come in and trim a little bit here, I didn't go quite far enough. And you'll see that we've left the score line on the piece that we removed, and we've got that nice edge there. Now I'm going to cut up the other 2 vertical score lines, but again, stopping where that short score line is. And this time I'm going to cut just to the right of the score line. Doing so is going to allow this section to fit really nicely into the tag topper punch. Coming over to this side, I'm going to cut just to the left of the score line. Again, stopping at that short score line. Now this is a little bit tricky to get your paper snips in there, but we're going to come in and just remove right along that score line and remove that piece there. So now our piece looks like this. Now we're going to come in a bit and do our tag topper punches here, but we've got this looking like our template now. Now I've got a piece of our 2021 to 2023 in color 6x6 designer series paper in the pale papaya, and this piece measures 2 inches by 4.5 inches. I'm going to actually adhere that to this panel right here. That's going to give the front of our treat holder just a little bit of texture with the pattern from that designer series paper. This is totally optional. Just going to use liquid glue to adhere that. And you'll notice that I put glue all over the panel because we are going to come in and punch this piece. And the liquid glue will let you slide it right into place. Now bringing in the delightful tag topper, you can use any of our tag topper punches for this. I'm gonna go ahead and slide in the first 2-inch wide panel. It's gonna fit right in the tray there, but I also like to flip this over and make sure that that is centered before I punch. And then we're gonna do the same thing with the other piece. Again, I slipped it in through the tray. You can kind of feel that from the front, and then centering it here and punch. Then our piece looks like this after punching. So now it's ready to glue together. I'm gonna flip this over and fold on the second score line from the left, glue along that tab, and then I can fold on the first score line from the right to square that up. Now this is our back with the seam, this is our front with the pattern paper. I'm gonna go ahead and fold that front flap out of the way. We're gonna put glue on the tabs and then glue on that front flap. Fold the back flap down, then the front flap, and I use my fingers here to square up the bottom. The liquid glue gives us a chance to kind of slide that into place. And then I'll take my glue bottle and just press down from the inside to make sure that that base is all adhered, like so. Now grabbing our Russell Stover marshmallow egg, I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the treat holder. And then I'm gonna grab our beautiful Flirty Flamingo metallic ribbon. I love this, especially paired with pale papaya and that little flash of gold thread in the ribbon. And we're gonna go ahead and tie a bow. One of the things I love about this ribbon is I actually don't need to use my reverse tweezers because of the texture. That knot is actually gonna hold itself while I prepare to do the bow. There's that beautiful bow. Now let's go ahead and embellish this. All right, so I'm gonna bring in my stays on and we're gonna stamp the sentiment Easter Blessings. Also bringing in a scrap of Flirty Flamingo. So we're gonna go ahead and using the double oval punch, I'm gonna punch out my sentiment. And then we'll punch out the scalloped oval from Flirty Flamingo. I'm gonna layer these two together. And then I'm actually gonna glue this to the front of our treat holder. We're gonna let our daffodil be popped up on here. I put that off to the side and let's build our daffodil. All right, so I've got some pieces and parts already die cut from the daffodil dies. These two pieces I cut from Very Vanilla. These are also cut from Very Vanilla, but I backed it with our adhesive sheets. This was cut from Pale Papaya, and this was cut from Flirty Flamingo. This one also backed with adhesive sheets. So I recommend the detailed pieces. Back your cardstock with adhesive sheets. It's gonna make this go together much easier. So let's start with the real easy one. These two pieces, I'm just gonna pull off the adhesive sheet backing. That turns this into a sticker essentially. Then I'm just gonna layer that over the Pale Papaya base, like so. We're instantly starting to get a daffodil here. And then these pieces, I want you to look for this little shape here. It's a little bit of a sharper sort of point out there. You want to look for that also on the detailed dies, which is going to be this piece here. I also recommend that you dry fit these first before you peel your backing off, and they should layer perfectly over each other. So I'm going to go ahead and peel the backing off of these and layer them on the base. So there's one. And now we've got two here. I'm bringing in my silicone craft mat to help me build this daffodil, just in case I have any glue that oozes over. I'm gonna put liquid glue in the center of one of these daffodil pieces. And then I'm gonna stagger the second layer over top. And instantly it's already starting to look like a daffodil here. And I've got my Flirty Flamingo and Pale Papaya piece. I'll put a little bit of adhesive along the bottom here. And we're gonna layer that off to a little bit of an angle. And look, it's already created a stunning daffodil. Now I wanted to add a little bit of leaves here, but I wanted to make it quick and easy. And to do that, I went into my punch stash and I'm grabbing the tulip builder punch. Now, granted, this is meant for tulips, but if you put the leaves in a certain orientation, they will look like daffodil leaves. Now I just punched these out of Mossy Meadow. So we're gonna layer these in a certain way to make them look like they are daffodil leaves like this. So I'm just gonna use liquid glue and then strategically place those to look more like daffodil leaves. Like so. How beautiful is that? All right, I'm gonna pop this up on a trio of dimensionals. And we'll pop that on the front of our treat holder here. I'm gonna grab a brushed brass butterfly and we'll pop that up here on the front of the treat holder. And there we have our Daffodil Daydream Easter treat holder, sized to fit a Russell Stover marshmallow egg. Super quick and easy to make, so easy to change this up for so many different occasions, but I absolutely love the way this turned out. That daffodil is so fun to put together and so beautiful to look at. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so you don't miss my next video. If you're interested in purchasing any of the Stampin' Up! Products I used today, they'll be linked in the description. And I'll also include a link to my detailed blog post with all project measurements, details, and a picture of the template. I'd love to have you come visit me at thepaperpixie.com where I post all sorts of inspiration for you. And if you give this project a try, I'd love to see what you made, so feel free to share it on social media with the hashtag #PaperPixie, and I'll be sure to check it out. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care. Bye.